Yo, what is up, gamers? It's Sebastian coming to you a deck profile all the way from Cologne in Germany. And how about you introduce yourself?
I'm Joo-Ho Ahn, and I got fourth place at the regional with Ishizu.
Nice. Do you have any sponsors you'd like to shout out before we begin?
Well, I I definitely have to shout out my team, JunksPlayGround, and which is also my sponsor basically, and my teammates. Then we get to the deck.
Okay.
For the main deck, I two Reinhardt, three Sharon, three Harkness, three Merle, very standard.
Yeah.
Then for the cheese package, it's a rather small one with three Keldo, three Dora, and only two Kelbeck.
And no
Like this,
Agido.
yeah, no Agido, because like smaller packages a lot better in the mirror since a lot of the time you don't want to, and that way you just have the shufflers because you need them a lot in the mirror, and they're the most broken ones. So you only play those as three offs.
Yeah.
And like Kelbeck also functions as hand trap, which makes it better than Agido going second. And you need some form, like some millers in your deck, so you have a better chance against the random rogue decks to overwhelm them a lot more.
Yeah.
And then for the uh, hand traps, there's three Magnamut, three Druids, two Saronia, mostly for the mirror because they're just broken.
Yeah.
And then three Ash in the main deck.
Okay. And
Ash was
that's
like
yeah. Ash
Ash
was
was
like
like pretty good because it like it hits a lot of decks, and previously I was on Imperm, but Imperm was a lot worse going first in the mirror. And if I had kept playing Imperm, it would make siding really weird. So I opted to play Ash in the main deck instead.
okay. And like Ash can come up against like Halfness in the mirror, which I imagine is very
Yeah, but
relevant.
like rather than Halfness, it's really good if you're going second and you have like Ash plus any other hand traps, like Ash plus Bestial. So usually you like Ash Sharon, and then their players either normal some Merle or Reinhardt. And then if you have Bestial, they don't really get to play, or like they don't really get to make huge boards.
Yeah.
And then for the back row, there's three Polarino, one Terraforming, one Instant. Like this is just the
Yeah.
part of
You
the
should
tier
be
core.
playing them. Yeah. If you're not playing them, you're doing
Yeah,
something wrong.
and there's only one Scream and two Solid for the tier one back row.
Mm.
Like Scream is not that good going second in the mirror, and like I'm only playing Solid as the back row anyway, since they're the best mill you can have. If you play
Yeah.
like one Solid, one Crime, a lot of the time if you mill Crime early, it's just a dead mill. While milling Solid just gets you either half access or pull up in general, which is really good.
Yeah.
And in the mirror, you don't really miss the crime from what I've noticed. Like having your usual board plus Solid is good enough. Having way more consistent builds. If you only run one back row, you don't really need more than one scream. And usually going second sided out anyway.
Okay.
And then for the last three cards in the main deck, I have three talents because it's really good both going first and going second in mirror. It's like just good post build in general to have.
Yeah.
It's really broken right now, so I think you have to at least side it.
Yeah. Before the tier game, it's been basically our turns.
Yeah. Like with Halfness and the Bestials, TTT's live so often, it's kind of mandatory. Then for the side deck, three Gamma, one Driver, and two Impels for the hand traps going second.
Okay.
Like they're just really broken going second since Gamma just gets rid of the body and Impel's good against everything. So
Yeah.
like Impel always gets sided and going second for one Solid, one Scream, and Gamma against basically everything else. Especially good against Sprite since they can't really recover through a Gamma a lot of the
Yeah.
time. And then
It clears the
Impel's just,
body, which is big.
yeah. And then for also most rogue matchups, specifically like Sprite or like huge like boards with huge board, decks with huge boards, and also blue. There's three Dark Ruler.
Yeah.
Like always good since they usually set up floodgate monsters, and you kind of need to draw an out against those. Or
Mm.
they set up boards like Double Toad and Red, and alongside the back row, and it makes it a lot easier to break the boards. And
Yeah.
then specifically for Flu, there's also one Banshee, set rotation, and two Zombie Wall. It's just the most broken card against that matchup. It's like the only card that lets you reliably beat them through Featherstorm, so it's also kind of mandatory, but played
Yeah.
against Zero Flu, thankfully.
Oh,
Then for
nice.
going first, and against Beggar, I have one Heartbeats and one Crime,
Okay.
since like Crime is kind of mandatory against the decks like Blue, like Exorcist, or like other shifted decks, since a lot of the time they set them evenly against you. And if they
Mm.
evenly your whole board, it gets really hard to beat good hands. And Heartbeats is like the only move I set in, since especially with Polarena and like Kaleido and Zeus Axis, you don't really miss a lot of you don't really miss mass spec removal, but
Yeah.
having one search for one is still a nice thing to have, and it makes double back row and first a lot more consistent if you have Heartbeats and Scream, since
Yeah.
it's a good percent if you like milled another back row previously.
And it can out Mystic Mine or Messenger of Peace as they call it now.
So true. Like the setup was also pretty standard. And then getting to the extra deck, there's all like nothing special either. It's just teaches the deck. There's one Mud Dragon, one Drexapelia, like one of each Tearlament, just the six fusions. Should be
Yep.
pretty much every tier deck. Then for the XEs, there's a Gaga Cowboy for time, and also it's another application where it's just the biggest rank 4 you can make out of with just one XE, since it
Yeah.
goes to 25 and shrinks your opponent's ones by 500. So it lets you beat away Bestial with a rank
Yeah.
4, which is good if you want to make Zeus, since like none of the other XEs do that. Then Dweller, Yakuska, the best going first rank 4s, and then it triggers your tears. It's really good against Rogue. Then
Okay.
Beatrice is my only rank 6. It's just broken with the Bestials and Zeus.
Yeah.
Like, out of those, the only ones I would probably consider cutting would probably be Cowboy or Redoer, since sometimes I kind of miss having the utility of Wallow. But also, I would maybe consider running Orsa, since it baits out the opponent's shuffler. But
Mm. How often did the cowboy come up?
it came up once where I had game, like I had OTK with Cowboy because I had Sharon, Keldo, and Sprint, and the fuse from the Merly Sand. Because I would have made Garura, and then I had six. I would have 6,000, 7,600 damage, I think, or 7,400, and
Yeah.
Cowboy would be game with the two L4s, but
Oh,
I
you.
missed that, so I didn't go for OTK
Oh.
that game.
Imagine Giga Chad playing cowboy to attack for game rather than winning in
Yeah, that
time.
would have been insane, Cowboy for game, but also I never went into time, so the burn effect didn't come up because of that either. So
Nice.
like a lot of the time, if you just play fast with tier, you don't really get to go to time since you can kill your opponent very quickly.
Yeah.
And builds like this where I don't play a lot of the millers, the millers are also not that long since I draw one engine and those usually turn off turns a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And for the links, there's just a standard L, Sprint, and Dark,
Okay.
which is like the best rank twos, link twos.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was the list.
I do have
My
a.
matchups at the regional, yeah, my matchups at the regional, there were one Sword Soul in round one. Then I had two Tier Mirrors, then three Sprite in a row, then 2 teamers again.
Okay.
And my only loss was a teamer in round 2, I think.
Okay. Do you have any final words you would like to say?
I don't think I have anything left to say.
Okay, well, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to subscribe, leave a comment, and like the video. And I'll see you gamers later. Goodbye.